A warm welcome to all the participants of this STTP to the fourth day forenoon session. I hope you had very knowledgeable sessions in the previous 3 days. Now today we have a hands-on session conducted by Still Technica. I welcome the resource person, Ms. Ramkala. Ma'am, welcome ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So today, Still Technica will be taking the forenoon and the afternoon hands-on session, and tomorrow's session, morning session also will be hands-on taken by Still Technica team. Welcome to the entire team. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'll make you as a presenter now so that you can share the screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes.
So I have enabled you as a presenter. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Ramakala, I'm Sumi here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I think you start the session and you can go ahead actually.
Yeah.
Put it in the slideshow mode and we can start the session.
Yes. It is visible, but your audio is not clear.
Ramakala, you are not audible. I think it's better to put your headphones and start.
Maybe you can try log out and log in once again and try.
Now I remove headset, ma'am. Now it's okay.
Okay, now it is good. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you all for this AICTE sponsored 1 week online short-term training program on IoT powered solution for healthcare innovation. Today I'm going to present this class hands-on session. So I'm from Skill Technica, India's futurist skill development platform. We are offering
Ramakala, sorry to interrupt you. It is not in the slideshow and the slide is not moving. Check it.
It is moving. It is moving now.
Yeah, it is not in
Yes.
slideshow. Slideshow, put
Oh,
it
okay,
in
okay, okay.
slideshow.
yeah. So, our courses are we are providing a lot of new trending technologies like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, Python, blockchain, IoT with AI, IoT with the blockchain, IoT with the AI, ML, and data analytics. So we are conducting various MSME program. Sorry. So let me introduce myself, Ramakala. I am an IoT trainer at Skill Technica. I have done my master degree in engineering ME VLSI design, and I have passion for teaching. I have more than 2 years of experience in industry. I was worked as a failure analysis engineer in Shima Technology, and then 6 years of teaching experience. I was worked as assistant professor in various engineering college. So far, I published my paper related with IoT and digital image processing in Scopus Indexed Journal, IEEE, IJRTE, and other Scopus Indexed Journal. I had attended various faculty development program, organized various career development courses in IoT technology for various levels of students. So for that's it about me. Let directly will go to health monitoring system using IoT. So what we are going to discuss in today's scenario. In this IoT, first we will start from the IoT basics and what are the applications of IoT in healthcare industry, what are the stages, and directly go to a hands-on part in healthcare industry using IoT platform. And we'll explain about the project demo and their connection and programming procedures and what are all the key takeaways we can get through this program. So let's start from basic Internet of Things. So we have all heard of the term IoT, Internet of Things. Let's see what is Internet of Things here. So now you all are attending this program through your mobile or PC or laptop. Your device could be connected through a broadband or Wi-Fi. Simply this is the concept of basically connecting any devices with the internet. So the term first introduced by Mr. Kevin Asnan in 1999. So connecting things with the internet, that is the Internet of Things. That things may be a people or a device or environment, whatever it is. So how we can connect it? One second, ma'am. Sorry. One second.
All the participants are requested to mute their audio and video.
Yes, sir. Now it's coming in the slideshow mode.
So what is IoT here? So IoT is an environment where that object or animals or the things can be connected with the internet in order to exchange the data. So if you want to connect the internet means it needs some unique identifier, that is IP address is needed. So then we can connect the people or things to the internet. So without human intervention, that things can be collect the data, they can store it, they can send the data to the cloud part. So this is the basics of Internet of Things. Okay, what we can do for IoT, what application? So IoT having lot of application. That Internet of Things is virtually connected in all the industries. So what can IoT do for the healthcare industry? So Internet of Things enabled devices have made remote monitoring in the healthcare sector possible. It has also increased the patient engagement and satisfaction as interaction with the doctors have become easier, as well as it is more efficient one. So in order to, we can reducing the length of the hospital stay and prevents the readmission. IoT also has a major impact in the healthcare sector. So we can reduce the cost, significantly improving the treatment outcomes also through this IoT technique. So IoT has application in healthcare that benefits for patients, physicians, families, hospitals, even insurance companies also. So what are all the benefits that IoT for the patient, especially for patients? So this one, IoT make the patient journey gets a digital one. So device in the form of wearables like fitness band and other wireless connected devices like blood pressure, heart rate monitoring, glucometer, etc. So it gives the patient access the personalized attention. So this device can be tuned to remind calorie count and the exercise check, appointments, blood pressures, and so on. So it's changed. IoT changed the people lives, especially elderly patient, by enabling the constant tracking of the health condition of the elder peoples. The major impact on people living alone. So maximum of people are now living in the alone situation only. So on this condition, so on any disturbance or any changes in the routine activities means that routine activity is disturbed means any abnormality finded means that alert mechanism send the signals to the family members or the caretaker or concerned health providers. So these are the main advantages of IoT in the patient side. So we can prevent early stage, we can detect the abnormality. According that we can do diagnosis. According that we can give the therapy, treatment, and again follow up also very easy in the in applications of the IoT in healthcare for patients. And next one is IoT for hospitals. So apart from monitoring the patient's health, there are many other areas where IoT devices are very useful in hospitals. So IoT devices tagged with the sensors are used for tracking real-time location. So we can track the real-time location of the medical equipment, like wheelchairs, defibrillators, nebulizers, oxygen pumps, and other major healthcare equipments in the hospitals. And also the deployment of the medical staff on different locations, we can directly analyze the location of the staff members, as well as we can analyze their activity in real time manner, because that IoT devices, everything will be saved in the cloud part. So anywhere, anytime, that directly we can monitor the data. And next one is IoT playing a major role in health insurance companies also, because the IoT devices bring a transparency between the insurers as well as the customer. So in the underwriting, pricing, claiming, as well as the risk assessment process. So here the data will enable them to detect fraudulent claims and identify the prospect for underwriting. So they can reward the customers for using IoT devices to keep on tracking their routine activities and to the treatment plans and precautionary health measures. So this will help the insurers to reduce the claims significantly, as well as that IoT devices can also enable insurance company to validate the claims. So through this IoT captured data, IoT techniques, so it will be very easy for the IoT health in healthcare companies. And what are the types of IoT devices we are using in the healthcare sector? So that may be a wearable device, invasive and invasive devices are there, non-invasive, semi-invasive, as well as invasive devices. So wearable is a smart wearable devices. So when we place fix that devices in our body, it can automatically collect the data and analyze the data, and some scenarios we can make the smart decision according to that the data, and we provide the response to the users. So these are all the wearable devices. And what is invasive devices? These are also same like the wearable devices. So here we do not involve the tools, that is we do not break the skins or physically enter to the body. So for example, we can say all the scans, x-rays, CT scan, MRI, ECG. So, and also we can say that hearing aids, external splints. So these are some example for non-invasive IoT devices. And next one is semi-invasive. So semi-invasive, directly we can fix the electrodes or placed on the exposed. This one is the electrocardiography. And invasive devices. So invasive is an implantable one. So any medical devices that is introduced to the body either through the break the skin or through opening into the body. So for example, we can say that implantable devices like pacemaker, cochlear implantation, and wireless capsule endoscope, electronic pill, that is and deep brain stimulator, retina implantation, defibrillators, as well as the joint implantation. These are all the devices we are using in IoT enabled devices we are using in the healthcare sectors. And how it is processing the data. Basically that IoT having the 4 stages. The first one is devices, that is data acquisition property. So through sensors, we can collecting the data from the environment. Once the data is collected means through the sensor part itself, it will convert the data. So the collecting all the data, everything in the analog form through the sensor, we can convert the analog data into the digital one. Once data acquisition is over, next one is data processing. So data processing represents the collecting data, everything in the form of unreadable format, unreadable data. So we need to convert this unreadable data into a meaningful information. So that meaningful information is the processing. So once that information is ready, so with the help of internet connectivity, directly we can send the data. We can store the data as well as we can send the data for the uh, future stages. I mean, we can send the data to the cloud part. From the cloud part, we can analyze the data as well as we can monitor the data. So based on the data analytics, that the decisions making will be done through this process. Once the data is analyzed, so we can predict the future things, and according that we can take the action in this process. So these are the 4 stages of IoT. What are the advantages over here? The first one is cost reduction. So IoT enable patient monitoring in real time. So it cutting down the unnecessary visit to the doctors as well as the hospital stays and readmission to the hospital. So we can avoid these things, and also we can reduce our cost. And next one is improved treatment. So improved treatment, it enables the physicians to make evidence-based information decisions. So that is very important, and it also brings the absolute transparency in the treatment. And third one is faster disease diagnosis. So continuously we are monitoring the data, patient data in real time manner. We are getting the data, so it helps in diagnosing the disease at early stage. So even before the disease developed based on symptoms, that vital signs we can monitor through this IoT devices. So easily we can find out the diseases in the early stage. And next one is proactive treatment. So continuously monitoring the health parameters and providing proactive medical treatment. And drugs and equipment management, we can effectively manage the drugs and the medical equipment. So these are the way that maintaining the things are very challenges. So through IoT technology, we can effectively manage these things through IoT connected devices. and error reduction due to this IoT devices. So data generated and effectively we can take the decision according to that data. So it ensures a smooth healthcare operation with reduced error. We can reduce the waste. We can reduce our system costs. So the lot of advantages are in the IoT technique in healthcare, especially in the healthcare industry. So here what we are going to discuss. So in this hands-on part, so our main goal is so making a healthcare monitoring system. So wherever the person, anywhere, anytime, anyone can get the data in the over the internet.
మా ఎగ్జామ్ ఫీజు కాదు నేను అడుగుతాండేది, మీరు కాలేజీకి ఫీజు కట్టారు కదా, మొన్న యూనివర్సిటీకి 200 కట్టినారు కదా, అంతకుముందు ఏదో కట్టింటారు కదా, ఆ ఫీ రిసిప్ట్ తీసుకోరండి అంటే అన్నాను. అలాంటివి జెరాక్స్ కావాలమ్మా. మీరు 6th సెమ్లన్నీ అవన్నీ నా దగ్గర ఇస్తేనే ఫీజు కట్టించుకుంటాను, లేకపోతే లేదు.
Please mute. Please mute.
So the
ఎందుకమ్మా మాట్లాడుతున్నారు?
can you put it in? Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are audible, but other disturbance were there. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So our central idea of this project is remotely we can diagnose the patient, and in order to reduce the diagnosis time, and this idea can be implemented for various applications. So one by one we will discuss about this project. So the main objective of this project is we can measure the pulse rate, to measure the blood oxygen level, to measure the body temperature, and continuously displaying the data or the all the sensor, pulse rate, oxygen level, as well as the body temperature. Every data can be continuously displayed in the cloud part. So through mobile application or web application, we can monitor the data. So to observe the patient health condition continuously. So if there any abnormality is found out by the sensor, means immediately we can send the alert message to the caretaker as well as the doctor. So these are all the main objective of this project. And methodology. So this project entirely methodology is divided into two models. One is collecting the human health parameters. So here we are collecting body temperature, blood oxygen level, as well as the pulse rate through intelligent sensor. Once that data is collected by the sensor and sending the data to the cloud part. So here we can send the alert message in two ways. One is through GSM technique, directly we can send the message to the caretaker or a corresponding person or a doctor. And one more thing is directly we can send the alert mail to the caretaker or a doctor from the cloud part. Directly we can send the alert message from the cloud parts itself. So there are the two types of alert mechanism we used in this project. So first we'll start from the introduction. In today's scenarios, healthcare problems are increasing at very high pace, like coronary heart disease, obesity, lung failure, causing death rate of 7.2 million people per year. So hence it is need of the hour to overcome from all such problems. So health is categorized as a full state of physical, mental and social well-being, and not only a lack of illness here. So health is a fundamental element of people's need for a better life. So unfortunately, the global health problem has created a dilemma because of uncertain factors such as poor health services and the presence of large gap between the rural and the urban areas. Physicians, and nurse unavailability during the hardest, toughest time. So IoT is making any object internally connected in the recent decade, and it has been considered the next technological revolution. So smart health monitoring mechanism, smart parking, smart homes, smart cities, smart climate, industrial sites, agriculture, smart smart farming. So lot of applications area of IoT. So the tremendous use of IoT is in healthcare management, which provide health and environment condition tracking facility. So IoT is nothing but linking computers to the internet, utilizing the intelligent sensors and the network here. So here we developed an intelligent and low-cost health monitoring system to provide a more comfortable life for people, those who are suffering from such as a chronic diseases, using advanced technologies like IoT here. So we are proposing a change in wireless sensor technology by designing a biomedical monitoring device. So the proposed method, IoT enabled human health monitoring system. So there are two main parts. One is to getting the pulse measurement. With the pulse measure, we can get the heart rate and oxygen level. With the help of temperature sensor, we can measure the human body temperature. So what are the vital signs are there? So what are the vital signs? So vital signs function.
Participants are requested to mute their audio. Someone has unmuted. Ma'am, 1 second, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me check.
Deepa, I think from your side you can mute everyone, I think.
Yes, I can mute so that ma'am can unmute and speak. I will try that. Ma'am, now you can unmute and speak. Ramakala ma'am. Yeah, okay, fine. Ramakala ma'am.
Ramakala, you have to unmute and speak. He muted you, unmute and speak.
Because I've given mute all, so
Yes, I
everyone.
understand.
Yes.
Ramakala? Ramakala, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, unmute and speak. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. So what are the vital signs? So vital signs of measurements of bodies. So most basic function, there are main three vital signs routinely monitored by the medical professional and healthcare providers. What the three things are: body temperature, pulse rate, as well as the blood oxygen level. So here what is body temperature? So the normal body temperature of person varies depending on gender, based on their food and fluid consumption and time of day, and it will vary to gender also, and women in especially in the stages of a menstrual cycle also, that body temperature will vary. So the normal body temperature can ranges from 97.8 degree Fahrenheit, that is degree Celsius is 36.5 to 37.2 degree Celsius. That one is acceptable range for the healthy adult. So how we can check the body temperature? So what are the ways they are using? So in early stages, they orally, rectally, axillary, by skin they measure. If the body temperature may be abnormal due to
Ramakala?
fever, yes,
Ramakala? Sorry to interrupt you. I think slide is not moving.
now ma'am.
Yeah, but it is not in slideshow mode. Put it in slideshow mode.
Already it's in slideshow only.
Yeah, slideshow, share that screen. Wherever the slideshow is there, share that screen.
Now, ma?
Yes, correct. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
if it is the body temperature exceeds the threshold value, exceed that normal value means that is, we can understand that is the fever. So that fever is indicated when body temperature is rises about 1 degree or more over the normal temperature. That is 98.6 Fahrenheit, degree Fahrenheit means that will be considered as fever. If it is below the normal value, that will be considered the hypothermia. So these things we can be identified by this body, human body temperature. And what is the pulse rate here? So pulse rate, the heart pushes our blood through the arteries. That arteries expands as well as they contract with the flow of the blood. So the pulse rate is a measurement of heart rate or the number of times the heart beats per minute. And so the taking the pulse not only measures the heart rate, it measures the heart rhythm, and also we can check the strength of the pulses here. So the normal pulse for the healthy adults that ranges between 60 to 100 beats per minute. So the pulse rate may fluctuate and it may increase due to exercise or illness or injuries, or it will vary from person to person also. So this one represents and pulse rated for the newborn to adult. So that normal value for adult is 60 to 100 BPM. And next important thing is blood oxygen level. So these thing is very important one. So why means that is SpO2. It's also known as blood oxygen saturation. It's a measure of the amount of oxygen carrying hemoglobin in the blood relative to the amount of hemoglobin not carrying oxygen. So the body needs that to be a certain level of oxygen in the blood or it will not function as efficiently. So in fact, a very low level of SpO2, I mean that oxygen level can result in very serious symptoms. So one the condition is hypoxemia and another one is that skin related problem, that is cyanosis. So these things we can understand through this blood oxygen level. So that how we can understanding the blood oxygen saturation, that acceptable ranges is the percentage should be between 94% and 100%, so which indicates a healthy level of hemoglobin carrying oxygen through the blood. If it is less than 90 percentage, that time we should meet the doctor with some emergency is needed to that person. So there are many ways that the blood can be tested to ensure its contain its normal oxygen level. Simply we can use pulse oximeter in the home itself. We can check the test. That same mechanism, that same types of sensor in this projects we used. So directly we can measure the blood oxygen level in order to get the flow oxygen flow in the blood. So what are the components required for this projects? So here the main controller part is Node MCU. So IoT based IoT development kit, Node MCU. And for temperature monitoring, we need temperature sensor. Here we used LM35. And third one is pulse oximeter sensor. Here we used MAX 30100. And for message alert, we used GSM module. To give the power supply to the GSM, we used a 12 volt DC adapter. And we need data cable for upload your program. And next one is jumper for connection. And what are the software requirements needed for this? One is Arduino IDE tool. So this one is Arduino IDE integrated development environment. So through this ID only we can type our program, and through this ID only we can upload our program to the hardware part through the USB cable. And cloud. So here we used Ubidart STEM account. So Ubidart cloud we used. So what is Ubidart? How? What are the applications we can use through this cloud part? Everything I will explain in upcoming slides. So once complete this hardware part, next I will move to the first one. So basic circuit diagram, overall circuit diagram for this project. So here we selected Node MCU. Node MCU is the main controller here. And next one is two sensor part. This one is pulse oximeter sensor, and this one is temperature LM35 sensor. And for message alert, we used the GSM module here. So the main connections are that's it. Pulse rate, sensor. So through this sensor we can measure the pulse rate as well as the oxygen level. Here 3V3 is connected with the, so V in is connected with the 3V3. So 3.3 volt pin is here, power supply pin is in the Node MCU. We can get the supply from Node MCU, and clock as well as the serial clock as well as the serial clock data that is connected with the D1 pin, and data signal is connected with the D2 of the microcontroller, and ground is directly connected with the ground here. And next one is LM35. There are 3 pins. So first one, positive supply is connected with the 3V3. This red color wire is 3V3 power supply pin. And center pin is A0. A0 is the analog output pin. So A0 is the analog. So A0 is connected with the A0 pin in the microcontroller, and directly ground is connected with the ground part. And here GSM module. So in GSM module there are 3 pin connection is needed: transmitter, receiver, and the ground. So here transmitter pin is connected with the receiver pin of the microcontroller, and receiver pin is connected with the transmitter pin of the microcontroller part, and directly ground is connected with the ground. So very simple connection only: sensor to sensor, temperature sensor, and pulse oximeter sensor, and GSM module. So we need to give the 12 volt adapter power supply to the GSM mode here, and through this pin that micro USB port is here. So through this port we can upload our program to the controller part. So let's see what are the sensors. So what are the properties, what's the principle behind that the sensor. So everything we will discuss here. The first one is the very important sensor is pulse oximeter sensor, that is MAX 30100. So the sensor is integrated a pulse oximetry as well as the heart rate monitor sensor is there. So we can measure the percentage of oxygen in the blood as well as the heartbeat per minute. Everything we can measure through this a single sensor. That feature is that operating voltage is 1.8 volt to 3.3 volt, and the current value also microamps, only 0.7 microamps. So that pins are there are 7 pins: V in, SCL, SDA, interrupt, and IOD, OD. So these 2 pins were LED connection, that is a driver pin, and ground pin is there. Here we only connected 4 pins: V in, SCL, serial clock, serial data, as well as the ground only we used in this project. And how that sensor is working. So the device has basically 2 LEDs. In this diagram we can see here the 2 LEDs are here. So one is light emitting LED. We can see the red color. When I show in video, you can see that color. That is emitting LED, emitting a red color LED. Another one LED is that one was emitting infrared light. So this one is emitting infrared light. So for pulse rate, only we using infrared light is needed. So that IR only we are using to measuring the pulse rate here. So these both red light as well as these iron light is used to measure the oxygen levels in the blood. So alone IR for pulse rate, the both IR as well as the red LED both can be used for the oxygen level measurement. So in that way only we are measuring the both cases, both parameters, blood oxygen level as well as the BPM level. So how it's working? How what's the principle is behind that? So when the heart pumps the blood, so there is an increase in oxygenated blood as results of having more blood, right? So as the heart relaxes, so that time the volume of oxygenated blood also decrease. In the relaxation stage, that oxygenated blood also it will decrease. So by knowing the time between the increase as well as the decrease level of the oxygenated blood, that the pulse rate we can easily measure through this action. One is increasing, another one is decreasing of the oxygenated blood. So the time gap between increasing of the decreasing of the oxygenated blood, so we can measure the pulse rate. That is the principle is that. And next one is how we can measure the BPM value here. So it turns out to that oxygenated blood absorbs more infrared here. It absorbs a more infrared light and passes the more red light, while deoxygenated the blood absorbs the light and it will pass with the more infrared light, right? So this main function of this MAX 30100, this sensor, it reads the absorption level for both light sources and it will store the buffer and it will be read via I2C mechanism. So SDA as well as the serial clock is connected with the controller part. Through I2C mechanism, it can measure the oxygenated blood as well as the pulse rate here. And next one is LM35. So human body temperature can be measured through the sensor. So basically, which is used to measure the centigrade temperature, and that output voltage of the sensor is linearly compared to Celsius only. The sensor will perform sensing when the temperature changes every degree Celsius temperature. It will be shown to the voltage of 10 millivolt, 1 degree Celsius for 1 millivolt. So we can be affects with the adhesive or it can be connected with the surface, means that time the temperature will be slightly reduced based on the surface where we fixed the sensor part. It will be vary from 0.01 degree Celsius, variations will be there. But the temperature over, it exceeds the threshold. So what is the threshold? Average normal body temperatures generally 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. That's degree Celsius value was 37 degree only. Suppose if it is exceeds the threshold value, exceeds the normal body value, means definitely we can understand that fever is caused by some infection or illness. So through LM35, we can accurately measure the human body temperature. And next one is GSM. So GSM module is basically used for sending the message alert to the person. So that number will be represented in the GSM module, so that mentioned mobile number can get the alert message. If it is exceed any abnormality is found out by the sensor part, means that controller automatically send the command to the GSM part to send the message alert to the person. That mentioned mobile number person can get the alert message. So this here we used a SIM 900A. So this model is the smallest one as well as the very cheapest model for GPRS GSM communication. So that frequency ranges between 900 to 1800 megahertz. That frequency band is used here, and that allows user to receive as well as we can send the mobile calls as well as the SMS through this GSM model. and that features of that operating voltages between 3.4 volt to 4.5 volt here. If we are using Node MCU, 3.4 voltage is enough. So Arduino we can go for 4.5 volt, and that operating frequency ranges between, so I already told that one, 900 to 1800, and the transmitting power value will be 2 volt for 900 and 1 volt for 1800 megahertz frequency range, and the transfer link, this one, and other things were that SMS mode, so mobile terminated mode, protocol data unit mode, so we can send the SMS. Antenna support is available. We can use either I2C communication or UART communication through this GSM model. So these are all about GSM model. That main important thing is controller part. So here we used a Node MCU. So before that we need to understand what is Arduino, what is Arduino IDE. Arduino, Node MCU, both are open source electronic platform for the for the electronics projects development, IoT related projects we can do through this IoT development kits. So this one comprises of both hardware unit as well as the software unit. So the main thing is, so someone is very new to start the electronic projects, means that kits are very useful for the beginners, because that Arduino there is no more Wi-Fi, onboard Wi-Fi model is not present there, but with the help of Node MCU, that onboard Wi-Fi model is present in the Node MCU model. So through the ESP8266, we can directly get the Wi-Fi connection to the controller part. So here, what is the need of Arduino here means? So Arduino, so Arduino providing lot of development kits. Arduino Mega is there, is there, Giga. So lot of boards are Lillipad. Various boards are available. So how this one is the hardware part. So software part is Arduino IDE. IDE is represents the integrated development environment. So through this IDE only we can type our program, we can compile it, and we can upload through this IDE. So how we upload means through USB cable, directly we can insert the USB port in the controller part, and simply we can upload our program. So this one is Arduino IDE, this one is Arduino board, and IDE is for the program, writing your program as well as the compiling the program, and with the help of IDE we can upload our program. But for Node MCU, in our project we do not use any Arduino boards, but with the help of Arduino IDE integrated with the Node MCU, because the Node MCU do not have any IDE tool. With the help of Arduino IDE only we can write our program, we can upload our program to the controller part. So how we can write the program? So with the help of Arduino IDE to the microcontroller part, here we used a C++ language. It's a very simple one that anyone can easily understand the flow of the program, easily get the what all the libraries are used, what all the things are there, and how we can use the logic, programming logic, everything is in the simple, very simplified manner. So through this C++ program, we can easily understand the program of the Node MCU. This one is a Node MCU ESP8266. So this one is Wi-Fi model. Onboard Wi-Fi facility is there. So we can easily connect internet to, we can easily connect the internet connectivity to the controller part through this Wi-Fi, onboard Wi-Fi facility. It's one of the open source IoT platform. So it includes firmware which runs on the ESP8266 Wi-Fi silicon on chip model that VLSI technique is used in this manufacturing domain. It is introduced by Expressive System, and it's also based on the ESP12E model. So this one is here we use ESP12E model we used, and their specification. So it's a 10 silica 32-bit RISC controller, Extensa LX106, operating voltage is 3.3 volt. So when we giving the power supply to the controller part, we should be aware of this voltage level. So 16 digital input outputs are there, 16 digital option, but only one analog option. So here one analog option is used for LM35. So LM35 is the analog sensor here. Other pins are all are digital pins. And it will support UART communication, SPI, I2C. Their memory 4 MB flash memory and 64 KB. SRAM is there. The clock speed is 80 megahertz. PCB antenna, that is Wi-Fi antenna, its inbuilt antenna is there. So these are all about that specification of this controller part. And next one is the pin description. So this one is A0 pin. A0 is the analog option. So here we used A0 pin is for LM35. LM35 is the analog sensor, and these pins are digital pins. So GPIO 1 to GPIO 16 pins are there. These are all the digital pins. So here we can use it used as the digital output, as well as some pins will be used for the PWM option. Analog option is also we can get it. That is PWM option is there whenever we need the control of in order to vary in the brightness control, or if you want to change the speed of the motor, means that time we will go for this option, I mean a PWM option here. And next one is and 3.3 volt option, power supply option is there. There are three supply options, 3.3 volt. Three options are here, and ground also three options, 1, 2, 3, 4 options are here. So these are all about the main pin description about node MCU. And next part is, so far IoT part is over. The next one is the cloud computing part. What is the cloud, or what is the need of cloud here? So nowadays that cloud computing is very much important for IoT. Why? Means without cloud we cannot store the large amount of data. So why that cloud computing is needed for IoT means, so here we use Vividas cloud. Basically, we are fixing the sensor in the environment. So it's continuously reading the data from the environment, and 24/7 manner it's getting the data. So if you continuously getting the data, means that much of storage devices needed to store all the data. So we need the data analytics. So where we can store? So that much storage capacity is needed. So that is the reason we are moving for the cloud computing. What is cloud computing means? So through this cloud computing on demand basis, we can access the storage, we can access the network, we can access the database, we can access the server, storage, and lot of things we can get it through the cloud computing service models. So, but how much we are using the utilities, that much we need to pay for the particular service. So that cloud based storage make it possible to save our files to remote database, and also we can retrieve the data wherever, whenever we need, wherever you are, in any time, anywhere, any person can access the data from the cloud part. So these are the reason why we need this cloud computing part. So lot of services are available in this cloud. So there are IaaS, that service models are infrastructure as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. So infrastructure means only we can access the infrastructure facilities. Platform as a service means we can access the OS platform, operating system. Software as a service means specific applications can be accessed through these services. So lot of services are there. So when you want a virtual server means that time we can go for a virtual machine creation. So lot of cloud providers are providing these services. Amazon. So what are the service providers, cloud providers? The top most providers are Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS, Google Clouds are there. So lot of services are offered by all the big players. One more, that virtual machine creation can be easily getted through this Amazon Web Service, and other things S3 Bucket, DynamoDB. So lot of services are available in this cloud domains. So these are all the big players. We need to pay for the all the things. So what are the service, what are the storage we are using, that much we need to pay to the cloud providers. So some for AWS offering IoT separate IoT core services available. So we can go for our IoT core for Amazon and Google Clouds, Microsoft Azure is also there, and also lot of open source cloud platforms are there. Especially it is created for the IoT. So that sensor data collection, storage, and analysis purpose. So lot of open source cloud platforms are there, and Blink is one of the open source cloud applications. UbiDots. So UbiDots and as well as ThinkSpace, KaiOT, lot of things are there. So in our projects, we selected UbiDots. So why this UbiDots? So through UbiDots, we can analyze the data, sensor data. It is a application development tool for IoT. We can create a real-time dashboard to analyze the data, and we can control the devices through this cloud part. So that visualization of the data with this UbiDots, we can go for or a stock graph, we can go for a charts, and we can go for a table also is there, and indicator. We can go for map application is there, matrices, and control widgets, control buttons. We can monitor as well as we can control the data over the cloud part. So the both manner we can access the UbiDots cloud application. Mobile application also there, web applications also there. Anything we can select it for our IoT projects. And next thing is coding part. Coding part. Can you see this code? Mom, is it visible?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
it's no. Only in the PPT we are able to see. You are
Yes, in
not
the
sharing
PPT
the.
it is visible. Yes.
Yeah, she wants to share the real platform. Yes, now we can see Ramakala.
Yes.
Yes.
So this one is Arduino IDE tool. So here only we write the program, as well as we can check through this short key, as well as we can compilation, as well as this one is uploading, and this one is serial monitor. And here we can add our extra libraries needed, means directly we can add it through this include library option, and tools option we can select our board. So this IDE tool for only Arduino boards. So how we can access this IDE tool for Node MCU? So if in order to get the Node MCU in Arduino IDE, so we need to enable the all the library things for the Node MCU board. So we need to integrate the Node MCU board with Arduino IDE. So for that, so first we need to go for the preferences in the file, and we need to apply this Node MCU URL. So this one is ESP8266 model. This one is for Node MCU. So first we need to paste this link in this additional board manager URL and then click OK. Then we will go to tools option, and there we can find the board option. In board manager, we can find out the mention ESP8266. So here we can type and search the particular board. So here only we need ESP8266. So this one, so I already installed this model. That is why that notification is installed is here. So we can install the, once this ESP8266 is installed means that board is implemented with this Arduino IDE tool. So then we can directly select this board. So board is selected. I already mentioned this one is ESP8266 12E model. So that board should be selected here. So once board is selected, next we need to check the port option. So which port we selected, that one is needed. So first we need to check the board option. Next we need to check the port option. So all the things was selected means next directly we will go for the programming part. So before that, how we use the header files in the C program, that same manner we need to include the all the library files here first. So first, what are the things, what are the sensors we use? Some library files are default for some sensor, but some extra intelligent sensors, if you are integrating to the controller part means that time we need some special library function. So first we need to include the all the library files. So this one is UBDOTS. So UBDOTS only we are use it for the cloud application part. So we need to implement all the library UBDOTS and pulse oximeter. So for LM35 no need to include any library here, but other things we included all the library files, and these are all the variables which we declared for our sensor representation. Here we defined all the things for the cloud application, cloud part. So UBDOT. So when we go for cloud application, we need to give the what type of protocol we are going to use the particular project. So in this project, we selected UDP, or we can select TCP, or we can select MQTT. So nowadays, that very trending protocols is MQTT. So everyone aware of it. I think that IoT, all the platforms, all the cloud providers are using the MQTT protocol only. So in this particular projects, we use UBDOT UDP, or simply we can change the protocol. So simply that logic is there, how we can define the protocols. So here only we need to define all the protocols. So for that, when we giving the internet connectivity to the controller part, so in Node MCU, directly we can get the connectivity. So we need to mention the what Wi-Fi name is, what Wi-Fi we are using in the particular Node MCU board. So I need to represent our Wi-Fi name as well as the Wi-Fi password here. For example, I am giving that Wi-Fi name is hello and Wi-Fi. So when you are doing project, you need to give your corresponding Wi-Fi name as well as the password here. And this one is UBDOTS token. So how we can getting the data? Sorry, how we can sending the data to the cloud part. So for the cloud part, we need some API token here. So how we can get the token means directly we can and get that. So I will show you how to open the cloud part. So I am going to open this UBDOTS cloud here. So here we used UBDOTS STEM account. So this one is UBDOTS STEM account. Name is So in UBDAT, there are two types of account is there. One is STEM account and another one is for commercial purpose. So STEM account only for the educational purpose. That one is free tier access is available there. That is why we selected UBDAT STEM account. Here we can give over username, password here. Username, my name, password. So this one is UBDAT STEM account. So this one is already created for this project. So here, how we can get the API token for the project, for that mentioned project. So here we can see that login profile name, API credential document, and the login logout option is there. And here we can check dashboard. So this one is the dashboard for health monitoring projects. So here device option, groups option, and the data and even creations and data analytics option, everything is here. So first I need API token for this particular UBDAT cloud account. So when I click this API credential option is there. So here default token option is that the first one is UBDAT token. When I click that, we can it will be visible. So that thing I need to copy this ID first, and I'm going to paste that API token here. I need to mention the corresponding Wi-Fi name as well as the here we need to give the password and we need to mention the protocol. So the protocol may be TCP protocol or UDP, or nowadays the familiar protocol MQTT also we can use it for this purpose. So MQTT means first we need to, so that MQTT it's basically worked on the name of broker as well as the subscriber concept. So we need to define the publisher, who is the publisher and who is the broker and who is the subscriber. Everything we need to define that. That program will be complicated. So for simple explanation we selected this either UDP or TCP. That same way we can access the protocol here, and here we can check all the parameters, everything already selected one side. So in the device part, so that current data is coming. So I connected that project in my system, that data is coming. Can you see this? A few seconds ago that values are coming. So BPM value is here, SpO2, oxygen, blood oxygen level is here, temperature, human body temperature. So so in this condition, no finger has touched the sensor part. When the sensor touched the human body means that time we can measure this all the values. So that now that room temperature only coming here. So once the data is created, once that application ID, the token, Wi-Fi, as well as everything is defined the proper way, means directly we can get the data to the cloud part. So how we can create the dashboard here? So first we need to go to the dashboard. So in this dashboard, lot of options are there. So these things are already created one. So newly I will show you how to create the dashboard here. So I will delete all the created things. I will delete all the things. So first, freshly, I will start how to create the dashboard in the UbiDATS account. So these type of UbiDATS is very much useful for the graphical representation of the data. Nowadays, all the peoples are moving for the UbiDATS cloud for IoT sensor data analytics, as well as the showing the data in the graphical manner. So first we need to go for this dashboard window. There plus option is there. When I click the dashboard option, we can give the name for the particular dashboard. So here only we are measuring the health parameter. So for that I am giving human health monitoring. Just I am giving the name human health monitoring. And we can set the time as well as the date. How long the data will be there. So in the STEM account only 1 month validation is there. For 1 month the data will be stored in the cloud part, and we can create the size also, and widget options, colors, styles, everything is there. So once that one is created, simply we can give OK. Once dashboard is created, next we can select the widget for the particular dashboard. So here we are going to measuring the 3 parameters. So 3 parameters are, one is human body temperature, second one is blood oxygen level, and third one is BPM value. So first I will select the widget for temperature, human body temperature. So here lot of temperatures default widgets are available. If you want the customized one, definitely you go for the consumer part login. Where the option is there, sustainable widget option is there. So here I am going to use thermometer widget for the temperature. So here I can change the name of the widget. Just I am giving body temperature. Just I am giving body temperature. So body temperature here degree Celsius only. So 0 to 50 is enough for this. Just I am giving OK. So before that I need to select the variable. Already all the variables are coming in the device part, right? So we need to select the variable first. So I am going to select the variable. So there are 3 variables: temperature, SpO2, that is for oxygen, and this one is for BPM value. First I am selecting the temperature. Now variable is selected and then click OK. Yes, temperature is created. Can you see this widget? So currently the data is varying. When I place my finger, the temperature will goes to based on my body level, environment temperature, that sensor will react according that. So first one is created. Can you see that live output? So currently 11:25 the data is coming, and next one more widget is needed for oxygen level and one is for BPM value. I am selecting this indicator. So indicator I can use it for oxygen level. So just I am going to represent SpO2, human body oxygen, blood oxygen level, and we can add the variable SpO2 and then click OK. Yes, so that SpO2 value is coming here. And next one more thing is we need to add it for the BPM value. For BPM, here we can select gauge. So just I'm changing the name BPM. If that value also 0 to 100, we can select the variable. That same manner, go to the devices and select the variable BPM. So all the values are selected here. So this one is BPM. So in that manner, we can monitor the sensor data. In device also, in graphical manner, we can check this, all the data, the temperature value, currently coming that the graph manner also we can get the data, and also we can extract the data. So extract option. So for the further analysis, if you need the data means we can directly export the data. So export option is there. So there we can mention the start date as well as the end date, right? And we'll mention the mail ID. So for my account, just I am representing my personal mail ID here, r.ramakala@gmail.com. So once I give the export, so just I am going to, I need the temperature data for data analytics. I need to monitor the data. I need to analysis for my reference. Just I am giving export. So here you can see that notification here. We will grab your data and send it to you via email. For large data, this can take a few hours. Yes. So now only I connected so that my data also not that much big one. So directly I'm going to read the data. Just I'm going to my account. Just I'm going to, so where is my data? So now notification is received. So can you see this notification? Hi there, your sensor data export. The device name is mentioned, the device name is there, is ready for download. So directly we can open the sensor data here. Just I'm opening this. Just I'm opening this. So where we can see our temperature value, and according that timestamp, date, time, everything we can get it through the export data option. So once again, I am showing this sensor value in dashboard. So how to analyze the data? For a simple regression manner, how we can analyze the data, I will explain you in upcoming session. So far we completed how we can monitor the data in the dashboard. So that and all we explained. So a refresh option is here. So in that manner we can monitor our data. So next, so what are the application areas we can use this projects? These type of projects we can apply. So application areas in order to monitor the elderly people, we can apply this concept for ICU patient monitoring, and someone is severely affected by some prolonged devices, some chronic diseases, means that people we can apply this type of concept in wearable manner. We can easily create things, and where we need health conscious, some people the sports person, someone doing exercise, yoga, like that, means so that time what is the BPM level, what is the pressure and temperature, everything we can measure through this type of IoT concept. And for corona patient also, because that main thing in corona is the persons are suffering for the breathing trouble. So some that based on the oxygen level, immediately we can take the precaution of action. because that once that oxygen level is varying, means some abnormalities finded by the oxygen level, means it should be in the range of 92 to 100. That time, that means that a good oxygen level is a healthy body, we can understand. If it is below the value, some slight changes, variation in the oxygen level, means that time we need to emergency option is needed. So according that we can take the action. And what are the benefits? So we can early direction. Any health problem, that vital human health parameters are: first one of human body temperature and the BPM, heart rate level, pulse rate level, and third one is oxygen level. So the three major things are important for the early detection. So any abnormality is there, immediately we can meet the doctor, we can get the doctor suggestion. So that one is very important, that main benefit of this project. And hassle free data saving, because we continuously saving the data in the cloud part. So the main thing is, wherever you are, directly we can get the data from the cloud part. So lot of options are there in hand, mobile also we can monitor, we can get it through the website also. So in order that immediate action is possible through this IoT trending technologies, we can real time monitor the data, we can save time, we can save money, all the benefits are there. So let's see this video for this, how the manner we connected all the components integrated with the controller part. Check that the audio is
Video.
audio is there, ma'am?
No, audio is not coming.
One second, please check it now.
Now, Pampa is an example of what?
Travels with you. You involve customer in every resolution.
Are you playing or?
Yes, ma'am.
But audio is not coming, Ramakala.
Ma'am, have you enabled share computer sound when you have present when you're presenting?
Yeah, ma'am, I already enabled. In my side, voice is clear.
That's what, ma'am. From your side, it will be there, but when start presenting itself, you need to enable the system audio too. Then only when we play the audio, we can also, participants can also hear it.
Yeah. So how to change that audio setting?
You do one thing, ma'am, like for share content is there, no?
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, you just stop sharing. Again, you start sharing. While you start sharing the content, you will get computer audio. There will be an option.
Sure.
Click that and then you again.
System audio.
It is
Yes.
there. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Include computer sound. Yes, you enable it and then you start presenting. You just tick it and then desktop. Then now you can do it. Yes.
now let me introduce our project Human Health Monitoring
Yes.
System using IoT. Hope you will be really interesting to see this. Let's have a look into all components that are needed for this project, and I will show each part.
Play the
First one
video.
is
Actually, video is not shown.
Yes, ma'am. It just try playing the video. Will let you know whether it is audio is enabled or not.
Let me introduce our project Human Health Monitoring System using IoT. Hope you will be really interesting to see this. Let's have a look into all components that are needed for this project, and I will show each part. The first one is breadboard, pulse oximeter, temperature sensor, GSM module, jumpers, USB cable, 12-volt adapter, and Node MCU. Next, we'll show you how to connect all the sensor component with the controller part and see how it will work. First one, temperature sensor LM35. First, we place the sensor in the breadboard. There are 3 pins, VCC, A0, and ground. Taking 3 jumper wires from the sensor and connect VCC pin to 3.3 volt pin. A0 is connected to A0 and ground is connected to ground. Next, pulse oximeter. The sensor number is MAX 30100. There are 7 pins. VIN, serial clock and serial data, ground, and other pins, interrupt, IRD and ORD pins are there. So VIN is connected with 3V3. Ground is connected to ground. SCL is connected to D1. Here D1 is SCL pin, serial clock, and SDA is connected to D2. Here D2 is SDA. Next, GSM module. It's a SIM 900A module. So there are 3 pins, ground, transmitter and receiver part. Taking 3 jumpers from this pin. Ground is connected to ground. RX transmitter pin is connected to transmitter pin of Node MCU, and GSM transmitter pin is connected with receiver pin of the Node MCU module. Next, 12-volt adapter power supply, which is connected to GSM module. Next, connect USB cable. So via this USB cable, we can upload our program to the controller part. So program is uploading now. Let's check our output in serial monitor. So initial stage, the temperature is noted as 34.61. When I place my finger in the temperature sensor, automatically the temperature value is increased in the serial monitor. That output we can check in the screen. So manually, if I increase the temperature in the sensor side, the temperature value will increase. That same value is exceed 39. When it exceed the threshold value, that automatic message alert will be sent to the mentioned mobile number. So let's check pulse oximeter. When I place my finger in the pulse oximeter sensor, we can check BPM value. So current BPM value was 93.68, 99.60, and the same oxygen level 98%. So the same time we can monitor the sensor parameter via our cloud application. So this one is UBDOTS cloud. Her temperature value. Here temperature value is recorded 34.61, and same manner oxygen level 97% and pulse rate 82.66. So we can see this
real-time data in our Ubidots cloud. BPM 83.47, oxygen 97, and temperature value was 37.90 degrees Celsius here. Again, I will show this output in Ubidots dashboard in the widget form. When I place my finger in the sensor part, both in temperature as well as the pulse oximeter. So in the dashboard, we can get the real-time sensor data. In the widgets form, we can see this output, temperature 34.94, oxygen 98, and BPM value was 95.06. So temperature is exceed this threshold value, that alert message will send it to mobile. At the same time, mail alert like temperature alert emergency body temperature is too high. This mail is sent to mention mail ID from the cloud part. In both ways, we can send the alert. So as you can see, our smart IoT devices is also getting the same parameter and measurement with accuracy. So hence, so temperature is same like our IoT sensor value. Heart rate is 89, which is displayed in this smartwatch. Oxygen level, everything is matched with the our IoT devices.
Ma'am?
So next,
Yes.
so I want to conclude over here. The system introduced the smart healthcare monitoring, basic human health parameters that are important signs of patients like heart rate, oxygen level, and body temperature here. Through our intelligent sensor, we can measure that all the parameters. And this thing is that authentic medical staff, doctors can view and they can track the data in real time manner, even though that the patient performs the test outside to the hospital also. And this system can also benefit for nurses, doctors in situation of epidemics or crisis, as a raw medical data can be analyzed in a short time period. That developed prototype is very simple to design, and that uses also very simple one. This type of system is very useful in case of infectious diseases like novel coronavirus, that is COVID-19 treatment. So that developed system will improve the current healthcare systems that may protect lots of lives from the death. And through this alert message, so in both way we can give the alert to the person, and email alert also we already implemented message. So everyone doing the GSM model for the message alert system. So the application of the cloud part, that from the cloud parts itself we can give the message support, email support, and all other things we can possible through this cloud application. So through this intelligent system, effectively we can take the precaution according to that the sensor value. So and this message alert system, we can send the alert message to the caretaker, and we can monitor the data from anywhere in the world. At any time we can monitor, according that we can take the action. So being able to monitor as well as support a person free from the physical constraints. So it will change the doctor deals with the patients, patient. And what are the future work for this project? So here only we getting the data, monitoring the data, and also from the sensor data we can analyze the data also through some technique is there, data analytics technique is there. In the help of AI ML concept we can easily uh, analyze the value, so which I already exported to our mail ID. So that part will be discussed in upcoming session. And next thing is, so what are the features we can add up with it means we can add the video features here. So through this video feature we can be added for face to face consultation between the doctor and the patient, right? And one more thing is some more measurement like the very significant to determine the patient condition like diabetes, sugar level, and also respiration and some other things, BP, that and all we can implement through this. That same intelligent sensors are available, so through that sensor we can implement the overall health parameter. We can that whole body checkup also we can done through this IoT sensors. What you can do through this presentation, so that simple things only, so that things are integrated development tool is available, Arduino Node MCU, it's a very common one. Directly we can get it the sensor as well as the controller. And simple programming knowledge is needed, a very simple programming, just we need to understand how we can get the value, how we can sending the value and the cloud interface, that is enough. So that program also very easily understandable. That were C++ version only we used in this project. So through those we can do some small scale projects, and that same manner we can implement this. Someone elder people in our home means that we can directly fix this type of sensor. We can monitor their temperature, body health parameters. We can implement this concept in our home. And so through this concept some exploration is needed. And once we comfortable with this all the things, we can start our IoT business. So this one is only for the healthcare, but through IoT sensors, smart intelligent device, we can do lot of projects. It's a prototype one. That same knowledge will be applicable to all the type of applications. Small scale application, it is very best one. Any queries related to this? Yeah, sir asked in this chat box. So please ask your queries. I'm here.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can post it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and you can speak to our guest. Okay. So if there are no queries, I think, ma'am, we can wind up the session now. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you to Ms. Ramakala, madam, for the hands-on session. We'll again start the session at 2 p.m., ma'am.
Yes. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're very much audible.
Sir Subramanian sir asked, can we do this simulation Proteus?
Yeah,
Yes.
ma'am. Kindly.
So one query is that.
Yes, ma'am. You can address it.
Yes, Subramanian. Yes, we can proceed these all the things in Proteus also, but that real-time data it is not possible in the simulation process, and also we cannot implement the internet connectivity to the simulation. So real-time as well as network, these we cannot perform, but we can do simulation only. Alone simulation we can do through this.
They asked to share the code also. No? I think I can,
Yeah,
we can
sure.
share it later.
I can share with you.
Okay.
I don't think so.
And one more thing, Deepa, I'm Sumi here. See, these products are available with us. Anyone wants to explore in practical case, they can approach you through us actually. They can approach us through you.
Sure.
We can help them to get the components. We can courier them. That's what we do for our all IoT programs. We suggest them to buy it, and which is not costly and all. Everything comes in the range of thousands only, 1,000 rupees or 1,500 maximum. So we work on that cheap and best products. If anyone of you interested to do the hands-on on your own, all the facilities will be supporting things will be done from Skill Technica through your organization.
Okay,
So
sure,
anyone
ma'am.
is interested, they just ask them to approach you so that you can keep in touch with us.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll wind up for participants, dear participants, we'll wind up for the session. Kindly join at 2 p.m. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you a lot.